It's 5 p.m. on Thursday and you just left San Francisco. 15 minutes later, this is your evening. Tonight, I'm taking you from Corte Madera all the way to downtown Larkspur. So we're on Paradise Drive right now. On the hillside, you'll see the main trailhead off of Paradise Drive. It's the big Ring Mountain Open Space Preserve, and you'll get to check out the Phyllis Elman Trail and the wider Ring Mountain Loop. On the other side of the street, you are looking directly across the water at Richardson Bay. Depending on your elevation, if you're in those hillside neighborhoods, you can actually see the San Francisco skyline and the tip of the Golden Gate Bridge way out in the distance. On my right is Cove Elementary, and that parking lot is for the San Clemente Park. There's lots of dogs that play, fun sports for the kids. The fences you see on the right there is part of Mariner Cove. It's a neighborhood that connects to San Clemente Park and the Cove. It's a lot of kids in there. This is a very walkable neighborhood, very walkable area, all of Paradise. At the opposite end is the Montessori school. So on any given day, you usually see a lot of families walking their kids to school with the dogs. On my left here is Nugget Market. You also have a dry cleaner and a gym. Super handy, real close. And Mount Tam just sits there for your entire drive. You don't get this angle from the freeway, but this is the back pocket view people who live here get every single day. What I want you to notice is that there are flats on one side of this neighborhood and hillside on the other. Totally different lifestyles, but same neighborhood. Now maybe you're coming from a Pack Heights walk up and the flats feel familiar. If you're looking for your house to feel like it's floating above the bay, then up you go into those hills. Once we get to this light, Paradise splits off. The Paradise proper goes back behind all the buildings here and passes through a commercial zone. This is San Clemente Drive, and on the right side is a really cool walking path. It's actually really wide. And beyond that is the Corte Madera Shorebird Marsh, or just Shorebird Marsh, which is a huge 31-acre wildlife sanctuary and flood detention basin. It's right at the base of that neighborhood, Mariner Cove. It's a nice little habitat for birds like pelicans, herons, and egrets. It's just very serene and a nice path that takes you all the way to the village at Corte Madera Shopping Center, which is one of two major shopping centers that are sort of the anchors of Corte Madera, and the mall actually is just beyond this light. If you wanted to go to the village of Corte Madera, you'd make a right, and then it's right there on your left. An open-air mall that has brands like Nordstrom, Apple, Restoration Hardware, Lululemon, Anthropology, and Williams-Sonoma, plus delicious restaurants. And now we are dead center in the middle of Corte Madera, and that is the 101. So you can see how quickly we can get to San Francisco. 15 minutes to the city, 45 minutes to wine country. This really is the type of access that people don't understand it exists until we drive it like we are right now. This is what the commute actually feels like. And look how quickly the city just disappears. 1 minute you're in traffic on Van Ness, and then the next you're home and this is what you see. Not easy to see, but on my right is the second of the two major shopping centers, Town Center of Corte Madera. This mall's a little more lifestyle driven. They have a regular farmer's market, Safeway, Verizon, UPS, but it's also got, upscale things like access to the Bay Club. It's also got a great REI. Now we're in West Corte Madera, which hugs the slopes of Mount Tamalpais. This part of town is actually packed with history, but it is beautiful, scenic, wooded hillside, panoramic views, walkable to the malls and some of the restaurants that are coming up right here, as well as Town Center Park, which is another great spot to take the kids, to play with the dogs, take awesome walks. There's bike path and walking paths that lead right to Redwood High School. When you take those paths, you will also come to Neil Cummins, which is an elementary school tucked into the flats. Corte Madera and Larkspur are referred to as the Twin Cities. They share a sense of community and heritage. Larkspur and Corte Madera share a police department, a school district, and a history that runs deeper than most people realize. There's a bike path just up on the side here, and that was originally the Northwestern Pacific Railroad, carrying passengers between Sausalito and San Anselmo all the way through the 1940s. Mark your calendars for 4th of July because the parade that they have every year ties the two towns back together. Piccolo Pavilion in Old Corte Madera, just to the left, anchors it all. They have outdoor concerts, art festivals, the whole thing. At this light, if I went left, I'd be on Corte Madera Avenue heading into Mill Valley, but I made a right, so this is Magnolia, and this leads us all the way to Larkspur downtown. On my right, I've got some cute shops and a little taco restaurant. There's a groomer, an outdoor gym, and a path that goes behind all these shops. It starts at that square and goes all the way to downtown, which is just an alternative to walking on this main road. Now I'm pulling up to one of two schools. There's both the preschool at Marin Primary and Kronos Academy, which has TK, which is transitional kindergarten, elementary, and middle. All right, let's turn onto West Baltimore Avenue. Now, right away, the road starts to climb. And just look at this. The redwoods are about to close in. And it gets quieter, darker, cooler. You leave Larkspur downtown behind in about 60 seconds flat. And we're heading up into Madrone Canyon. And this is the South Magnolia neighborhood. Tucked under Mount Tam, heavily wooded, feels almost hidden from the rest of town. I really love this neighborhood. So here's something fun. This canyon has a past. Back in the 60s, South Magnolia was a bohemian artist retreat. Janis Joplin had a cabin up here near Dawn Falls Trail. Jerry Garcia did too, and she'd host jam sessions. Chris Christopherson, members of the Grateful Dead, they would all jam out right at the top of the canyon. There's also a famous author, Leon Uris, who wrote Battle Cry while living in Larkspur. So these hills, they just attracted creatives looking for quiet and seclusion. And honestly, driving through here, you can still feel that energy. Now here's what makes that place genuinely unusual. When the paved roads get too steep to build on, and they do, they just turn into trailheads. So right where the neighborhood ends, Dawn Falls Trail picks up. 30-foot waterfall in Baltimore Canyon Open Space Preserve. 193 acres of protected land. And from there, you can hike all the way up into Mount Tamalpais. So your backyard is basically a state park. Now, driving through here, you have to go slow, right? I mean, look at this. So you're crawling at a pedestrian speed around these tight turns, ducking under branches. It's part of the charm. About 200 homes up here, and most of them built in the early 1950s. And here's a fun fact. Some of the original lots were 25 by 25 feet. Square feet. The other way would be a little too small. So anyway, tiny. Developers platted them for modest summer cabins before strict zoning kicked in. Now, multi-level decks, canyon views, heavily shaded by those redwoods, and they rarely come on the market. We're just south of Dolliver Park. Honestly, you could call it Dark Park because the redwood canopy is so dense, which is sort of a fitting analogy for the neighborhood. When a home does go up for sale in South Magnolia, you're looking at 1.5 to 5.5 million. The privacy and the character, there's just nothing else like it in Marin. So here's what I love about South Magnolia neighborhood. It gives you both sides of the coin. On one edge, you've got the mountainside, rugged landscape, trails that wind through redwoods, maples, and madrone evergreens, the Piedmont Trail, Blythedale Loop, Dawn Falls, all of them start right here in the neighborhood. Dawn Falls is a 30-foot waterfall tucked into the canyon. That's your backyard. On the other edge, civilization, lively downtown, top-ranked schools, Little League, community activities everywhere you look. And here's the thing, it isn't crowded up here. It can't grow much. The mountains see to that. So what you get is this rare mix. Solitude when you want it, connection when you need it. People move here often to raise kids, and the kids thrive. The schools, the activities, it's all right here. But what's interesting, the older folks who thought they'd downsize once the kids were grown, a lot of them ended up staying. They just didn't want to leave, and you can see why. Now, the homes themselves. Hillside living is special, but it rewards informed ownership. A few things smart buyers ask about. Sun orientation. Which way does the light hit? Driveway slope. Is it manageable? Water flow patterns. Where does the rain go? Foundation type. Retaining wall condition. The insurance environment. These aren't deal breakers. They're just the questions that separate a good purchase from a great one. And when you get it right, hillside living is extraordinary. The views, the privacy. People love being able to get into the city quick and get back out quick. And geez, I mean, doesn't the city feel really far away when you're driving through this neighborhood? I think that's just one of the draws for people and why they like this area. If you're thinking about making this drive for real, give me a call. I mean, my info's in the description, and I'd be happy to take you myself. We'll grab coffee at one of the spots that I'll show you here in the next video and talk about what you're looking for, go check out the neighborhood, and maybe go look at a few homes. We're almost to the bottom here. In the next video, I'm going to do a walking tour. We'll start in the neighborhood in the flats on the opposite side of Magnolia, and we'll walk through downtown, which I absolutely love, and I'll give you all the details and the scoop, what's going on, and you can see exactly what that looks like and what it feels like at peak evening. And right there in front of us, we are back at Magnolia. I had fun. I hope you did too. Check back. I'll be doing some more drive-thrus, or you can join me on another neighborhood walk. Again, I'm Brooke Krinsky, local Marin Realtor, and I hope you have a great evening.